The world of K-pop dazzles with lights, flawless performances, and stars who seem to live a dream. Fans see perfection, idols with radiant skin, captivating smiles, and lives that appear effortless. But this image is meticulously crafted through relentless training, strict management, and heavy investment. Idols are marketed as both accessible and unattainable, fueling a fantasy that drives massive profits. Beneath the glamour, though, lies a world of rigid control. Contracts dictate nearly every aspect of an idol's life, from diet to social media, and especially their romantic relationships. The infamous dating ban is central. Idols often agree to forego dating for years, maintaining the illusion of availability to maximize fan devotion. Many assume these rules vanish when a group disbands, but the reality is harsher. Some contracts contain clauses that bind idols long after the group ends, restricting their freedom to date, work, or simply live normally. The control can linger for years, revealing a darker side to K-pop's sparkling surface. The dream comes at a cost, one that doesn't always end when the music stops. Among fans, dating bans are legendary, seen as a temporary sacrifice for fame. Many believe that once a group disbands, idols are finally free to live as they wish. But the truth is far more restrictive. These are not just unwritten rules. They're legally binding clauses, often lasting years beyond a group's end. Contracts may explicitly state that any romantic involvement, public or private, is a breach. While fans gossip about 3-year bans, some contracts extend restrictions for 5, 7, or the entire contract term. Worse, some clauses persist even after group activities cease, keeping former idols single or risking penalties. The industry's secrecy means fans rarely see the real terms, only learning the truth through rare lawsuits or exposés. The fantasy of the available idol is maintained because the harsh reality is hidden in confidential documents. Fans support their idols, unaware of the true extent of control. The gap between perception and reality is vast, and idols pay the price. The rules are not just for show, they're enforced long after the spotlight fades. The myth of freedom after disbandment is just that, a myth. Idol contracts use broad morality clauses, not just simple dating bans. These clauses demand idols avoid any behavior that could harm the company's reputation, including dating scandals. A standard contract may last 7 years, but the restrictions can outlive the group itself. Even if a group disbands early, the dating ban often remains until the contract's official end. Some contracts even restrict post-contract activities, arguing that a public relationship could tarnish the group's legacy. This creates a chilling effect. Former idols feel pressured to obey old rules, fearing legal threats or blacklisting. Companies can block solo careers or demand penalties if the dating ban is broken. The idol's personal life remains a corporate asset, even after their time in the group is over. Dating bans hit female idols hardest, exposing deep gender double standards. Male idols may face backlash for dating, but their careers often recover. For women, the consequences are far more severe: loss of endorsements, public shaming, and even forced exits from the industry. Female idols are expected to embody innocence and availability, making any relationship a scandal. The criticism is often intensely misogynistic, attacking their character and morality. Public apologies are demanded, with women expected to show deep remorse for having a private life. Companies enforce dating bans more strictly for female idols, seeing them as higher-risk investments. The result: women are held to a higher standard of sacrifice, their careers tied to suppressing personal autonomy. The system profits from this imbalance, perpetuating harmful stereotypes. Female idols must navigate a world where their success depends on denying their own humanity. The price they pay is far greater than their male counterparts. Disbandment should mean freedom, but for many idols, it's just a new kind of prison. Old contracts still dictate their personal lives, especially dating. Even after leaving the stage, former idols may be forbidden from public relationships, facing penalties for any breach. This limbo stifles both personal and professional growth. Companies can block solo careers, demand penalties, or refuse to release artists from contracts if rules are broken. The result: years lost, opportunities missed, and lives put on hold. The public moves on, but the idol remains trapped by rules meant for a group that no longer exists. The cost of fame lingers long after the applause fades. For many, true freedom only comes when the contract finally expires. How can such restrictive clauses be legal? South Korean law respects freedom of contract. If both parties agree, the terms are binding. There's no law specifically banning dating restrictions in entertainment contracts. Only clauses deemed contrary to public morals can be invalidated, but that's a high bar. Companies argue dating bans protect their investment, framing them as business necessities. The power imbalance is stark. Companies have resources and lawyers, while idols risk blacklisting if they challenge the rules. Legal battles are rare, expensive, and risky for idols. Most quietly wait out their contracts or settle privately, often paying hefty fees. The law remains largely silent, allowing these clauses to persist. The system favors the companies, leaving idols with little recourse. The silence of the law is part of what keeps these chains in place. These contract clauses reflect deeper issues: personal autonomy, labor rights, and gender inequality. K-pop normalizes the idea that private lives can be controlled for profit. Idols, scouted young, learn to suppress their true selves, leading to mental health struggles. Even after disbandment, fear of scandal and forgotten clauses lingers. Female idols face harsher scrutiny, reinforcing patriarchal values and punishing autonomy. Companies profit from this system, perpetuating discrimination. The cost is creativity, authenticity, and basic privacy. Harmful stereotypes are reinforced, affecting both idols and fans. The price of K-pop's glamour is the surrender of personal freedom, paid most by young women. The spotlight fades, but the consequences remain. Contracts set the rules, but public opinion enforces them. Fan reactions, especially from vocal minorities, can make or break an idol's career overnight. Dating news spreads instantly, triggering boycotts, harassment, and demands for punishment. Companies use this dynamic, claiming to act in response to fan wishes. Responsibility is deflected. We're just protecting the business from backlash. This pits idols against their own supporters, fueling a cycle of enforcement. Even after disbandment, fan sentiment can pressure companies to uphold old restrictions. The group's legacy becomes a reason to control former members' lives. Public perception becomes a chain, binding idols long after contracts should have set them free. The real power lies not just in the contract, but in the court of public opinion. At the heart of K-pop's system is a question: who truly holds the power, and for how long? Companies write the contracts, but cultural expectations and fan behavior give them force. The system is upheld by law, business, and public complicity. The most troubling aspect: control that persists long after the job ends. Should any career demand years of personal sacrifice after the work is done? Change requires more than new laws. It needs a shift in attitudes about privacy and human dignity. Fans and consumers can help by supporting idols as people, not just products. The music may stop, but a person's right to freedom should never have an expiration date.